Good evening. Should I say good afternoon? The time has come for our Monday, March 16th, 2020 regular city council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Here.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Here.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Here.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seeger.
Present.
Alderman Mozio.
Here.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present.
You have a quorum.
To lead us in invocation, it'll be by Pastor Luke McFadden of Christian Neighbors Church, located at 222 North County Street. Immediately following the invocation, I will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor, all rise, please.
Heavenly Father, I remember the words of your poet, the psalmist from long ago, and how he prayed, "Power belongs to you, God, and with you, Lord, is unfailing love." And so tonight, God, we remember that you are strong and you are loving. You are powerful and you are compassionate. We remember that you are merciful and mighty. And so we pray, God, that in love and power, you would guide our city through this uncertain time. We pray for your protection over this city. And to that end, God, we pray that you would bless this meeting. We pray, Father, for our elected officials, that you would lavish your wisdom on them. We ask, God, that they would be able to sense your peace and your presence as they discern our way forward as a community. And we lift up to you every resident made in your image in this place we call home. We pray that the proceedings of this meeting would unfold in a manner conducive to their well-being. We put our hope in you. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. Item 3, one I see is mayor's comments. For those who are here listening live and those in present, and to the aldermen, I say good evening. Tonight is unlike any meeting we have ever had before. Waukegan, along with the state of Illinois, the United States of America, and our world are reacting to an unprecedented situation. The coronavirus represents a threat to our society that we simply cannot ignore. As a result, many of you are aware the city of Waukegan, the state of Illinois, are following the guidelines of medical professionals and are enacting a number of measures to contain the spread of this virus. Social distancing, which means a 6-foot distance between people, is critical to keeping our society safe. As many have already been made aware of, Governor J.B. Pritzker has issued an executive order that all public and private gatherings of 50 people or more are prohibited, closing all bars and restaurants from close of business tonight through Monday, March the 30th. You can still order delivery, use a drive-through, or purchase carryout, but dining in is not allowed. A ban on public and private gathering of 50 people or more also include community, civic, public leisure, faith-based events, sporting events with spectators, concerts, conventions, and other related events. The ban on gathering includes fitness centers, health clubs, bowling alleys, private clubs, and theater. It does not include grocery stores, hospitals, pharmacies, gas stations, banks, credit cards, and shelters. I'm going to repeat that again. It does not include grocery stores, hospitals, pharmacies, gas stations, banks, credit unions, and/or shelters. We understand closing of businesses, schools, courts, and reduction in non-essential government services is incredibly disruptive. I know that this is incredibly impactful to our daily routines, but these measures are key for keeping you, your families, your friends, your neighbors safe. This will allow our healthcare workers to treat those affected without being overwhelmed. Please continue to check our website and our social media for up-to-date moment information. In the meantime, practice the good rules of clean, cover, and contain. Practice the good rules of clean, cover, and contain. Please fill out, and as I close out, I'm asking you to don't forget about our census online or in paper. And just so you know, I am walking the walk. I have mine. My census form is complete. It takes 2 minutes. It's actually, what, 5 minutes.
Okay.
So Janet and I have completed ours. We're gonna put on, we're gonna put on our social media that we're done. Don't forget, we need this to be completed by all of you. And most importantly, be safe, be calm, optimistic, and we'll emerge from this moment together. In the words of Greg Morzio, Waukegan strong. There's one thing that was brought to my attention today, and it was apparently this was in the talk of the county. And it says, save your money. Do not buy City of Waukegan vehicle stickers if you have a garage or driveway. Keep your car off the street and you will not need to pay for the worthless sticker. It is a very discriminating fee for people who do not have access to a garage or driveway. A car cannot be ticketed in a driveway because it is on private property. I'm here to tell you that is false. Understand, you must have a city sticker if your license plate comes back to a Waukegan address. If you do not, in your vehicle, whether it be in your driveway, on the street, or elsewhere, we can issue a violation of our city ordinance. So whomever wrote that, you have given misinformation to the citizens of this great city. If you have any questions related to that, please feel free to call my office, 847-599-2510, or our police department. Thank you. Item 2, resolution, proclamation, presentation, appointment. I'm going to motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Morzio. Mayoral declaration of emergency relating to the coronavirus. Are there any questions?
Yeah, could you read it first before we take a vote on it?
Madam Clerk, do you have?
We have the declaration.
We have the declaration. And this will be just a voice vote. The second one would be then individual, okay? Madam Clerk?
Whereas on March 13th, 2020, the President of the United States of America declared that a national emergency arising from the widespread threat of serious illness and death due to the coronavirus and COVID-19 was in effect immediately. And whereas on March 9th, 2020, the governor of the state of Illinois declared that a statewide emergency was in effect relating to the same issues. And whereas on March 13th, 2020, the chairwoman of the Lake County Board similarly declared that a countywide emergency was in effect, again relating to the same issues. And whereas the city of Waukegan and its populace is neither more nor less susceptible to the infection of coronavirus and the COVID-19 disease it causes than the national, state, or county populations. And whereas the city of Waukegan needs access to the full emergency powers established by law, including emergency funding for first responders and containment measures, but including all other powers and funding allowed by applicable law. Now, therefore, I, Samuel D. Cunningham, Jr., Mayor of the City of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby proclaim and declare that a state of citywide emergency exists effective immediately, and that I will introduce a formal resolution to the City Council for approval at the meeting currently scheduled on March 16, 2020 at 5:10 p.m., seeking ratification of this declaration as provided for in 65 ILCS 5 sub 8 through 10 through 5 and all other applicable statutes and laws. I further declare that this state of emergency is in effect until such ratification, and that the same should be extended by the City Council until such time as the threat of serious illness and death has been announced by the governor, and I seek the agreement of the City Council in such a declaration. I further declare that all persons should cooperate fully with all local, county, state, and federal officials with jurisdiction over emergency management and public health in assisting the containment and mitigation of the effects of this virus and the disease it causes, effective immediately this 14th day of March, 2020.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
The motion is passed and carried. Item 2B. Well, before we go on, let's get this, and I'm going to make a comment after that. Motion by Alderman Mosio, second by Alderman Newsom, regarding emergency ordinance ratifying the mayor's declaration of emergency relating to the coronavirus. Are there any questions to the motion?
Yes, sir, it is. So I just ask for clarity, and especially in the precedent having been set by the mayor of Champaign, Illinois. And reading through this ratification, the third paragraph from the bottom reads that, be it ordained that the state of emergency declared by the mayor on today, on March 14th, is hereby ratified, and the mayor is granted full emergency authority provided by law. And that seems rather vague. I'd like further explanation of what that means, those authorities provided by law, including but not limited to the power to enter into contracts relating to public health and services, purchases, et cetera, and extension of working hours. So I get all that, but I just want to know further what other emergency authorities this declaration and ratification is going to allow you.
Before Bob answers, let's be clear. This is unprecedented of what we're going through right now. Sometimes you're going to have to make decisions on the fly. It's going to be evolving.
Right.
And that's simply where we're trying to go with this. I do not expect for me to make any decisions that's going to put us in harm's way. It will not go through our corporate counsel. And to be honest, I truly like to get all the opinions of aldermen before I do this anyway.
Yeah.
That's just but there might come a situation where we just have to make a decision that we cannot convene before the decision is made that might exceed the 25,000 authority. So simply, that's what we're trying to do here from contracts.
My concern and my question is for clarification for the citizenry. As you mentioned, we are in this unique situation, and I have no objection on the surface, on the principle of allowing you emergency authorities. I think we need to be very clear on what that could mean. For example, in the city of Champaign, they are implementing curfews. They've granted her authority, the mayor, to authority to seize property, to restrict sales, and a number of other emergency authorities. And I'm not saying that you're going to do those things. I just want to be clear for me and for our constituents what we're talking about when we say emergency authorities. It's not just these things, these sales. So, and I mean, if you have those authorities, if that's what you're asking for, that's fine. Not objecting to it. I just want to know if that's it, if there's things along that line. Do you anticipate curfew restrictions, travel restrictions, seizure of any properties, restrictions of sales, or anything of that nature? Do you anticipate that at this point?
Well, the guidelines that we've really been going through is, and as I said earlier, we're going to go through if the CDC says certain things we need to do, if the Illinois Department of Public Health or the governor's office said that we need to do, aka our own Lake County Health Department says we need to do some things. Right. Those are the kind of things that we're talking about, and we've been very trying to be consistent with moving forward. Whatever those 3 or 4 entities give us guidelines on, then we will move that and how it will affect the local level. That's where that emergency authority comes from. But outside of those guidance, it's gonna. I don't see us doing too many things. But Bob could probably give you the legal aspect. But I'm just letting you know, Alderman. I'm taking my direction from the CDC, Illinois Department of Public Health, the governor's office, and in our own Lake County Health Department. Even with the governor, the governor's office, there must be a legal declaration before we even take action. So that's really where I'm at as far as what we're going to be doing. If it comes out that we need to do something with curfew based on those 3 entities or 4 entities, then yes, so we move forward on it. For us to react on our own, there could come a situation where they have not given us guidance and we might need to react, and that will fall in there too. But typically, what we have been able to do here, and the messaging and guidance that we've been is stemming from the CDC, Illinois Department of Public Health, the governor's office, and our own Lake County Health Department. Bob, maybe you can touch bases legally what that means for us.
No, we're primarily looking at this as a spending and community mobilization situation that, this is a unique situation. Most of our emergency laws were set up with the idea of either civil unrest. A lot of them date back to the Red Scare of the fear that the Russians were going to nuke us. Most of them really are typically used for natural disasters, floods, tornadoes, fires, volcanoes even, in some instances, depending on where you are. Where Champaign got into trouble was they, for some reason, adopted the idea that they should take away people's weapons. It's an NRA issue. That's where they got their notoriety from that. We're not planning on anything remotely like seizing people's guns and the rest of it. We will enforce the existing laws the way they sit. We will preserve public order. The main thing that we have to do here is, and I think this is really job one for the city more than anything else, aside from keeping the populace, assuring the populace that they will be safe and that they'll have access to food and medicine and all that they require, is to know that we're taking steps to make sure that our emergency personnel are protected, that they'll be available to be out on the street, that we're limiting public contact wherever it can be done without endangering public safety, that we have succession plans in place to make sure that these services go on, even if some members of the first response team do come down with this disease, that we'll still be able to provide those essential services. And that's what this is designed to do, is to make sure that if, a worst case scenario, just imagine if we ran short on ambulance personnel and we had a higher superior to come in, or one of the other paramedic services, we would at least be giving the mayor the authority to go and arrange for that to be done. If we needed to bring in additional paramedics or police from some outside jurisdiction, that he wouldn't have to go and try to negotiate IGAs, but could make a phone call and bring in people like that. That's what this is designed for.
Great.
And it is, you know, the primary limit on it is the temporal limit, that it's, the statute that we're operating under says it operates for basically from council period to council period, and then it can be dissolved at any time if there's a good reason to do so, and there's a vote to bring that up, and then there'll be a final accounting at that point in time.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you, Mayor.
No question.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Fleury.
I realize that you won't be able to contact us ahead of time because it'll be you said on the fly kind of thing, but certainly within a certain period of time, you could let us know what's happened.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. And our goal, and as most of you already seen, we've been pretty fluid about keeping aldermen informed of what's going on. But yes, to answer that question, yeah, we will. And I just, you are part of the messaging of the city of Waukegan. The more you know, the better the correct information is out in our communities. So we're in it together right now.
Yep.
You asked for this, everybody. We're here now. Any other things? All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Yes.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. I'm gonna add this. Everybody, aldermen, when you get a chance, please give a good thank you to our department heads so they can push that down to our frontliners. They have been true champions for our community, from our police, our fire, our public works, to our city staff, our department heads. We truly appreciate what they're doing right now. We're working on the skeleton crew, as you all know, and they're rotating. But our true frontliners are there, and they're going to be there. That's the job. That's what they signed up for, and I want them to know we appreciate them. From our dispatchers, who's taking the initial call and pushing it out to your police and fire. I also want to put a huge thank you, if you get a chance, if you have any of these on your speed dial, all of our grocery stores, all of our Walgreens, they're staying in there.
Yeah.
Trucks are still being delivered. Shelves are still being what? Stocked. They're not being stocked as fast, but it's still happening. I spoke to 2 or 3 of them today. I personally went out and thanked the cashiers, those who are at Jewel, at Superfresh, at Menages. We need to know that they are doing a superb job for our community.
That's a good point.
I wouldn't suggest that you go inside any place, because I've asked you to limit yourselves, your exposure, but if you have telephone numbers and need them, it'd be good for them to hear from us that we appreciate what they're doing, to push that down to everybody, a part of our grocery stores and convenience stores, because we need them now. All right? Thank you to our own staff and department heads. I truly appreciate what you're doing. Keep it up, but this too shall pass. With that being said, item 3, audience time. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. We have 2 people signed up. I have Rochelle Evans and Calvin Mathis. Go ahead and go to the east side of the room, announce your name, and I will time you.
Rochelle Evans. Good evening, everyone. My name is Miss Rochelle Marie Evans. I stand before you once again to talk to you about the need to become bilingual in the city of Waukegan. Waukegan is over 50% Hispanic. I hear repeatedly, I need to learn Spanish. I have my own business, and I will teach you how to read, write, and speak. in Spanish for better employment opportunities. I attend the University of Illinois Springfield to obtain my certification to teach English as a second language. I will complete the program by the end of 2020. My desire is that the Hispanics learn English as well, so they will not have to have interpreters to translate, and it can also help them have better jobs. Either way, I am determined to help my community. There's an old saying, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. I challenge you today to allow me in assisting you to put on your application that you are bilingual, able to read, write, and speak in both the English and the Spanish language. In closing, I would like a contract with the City of Waukegan to teach city officials and/or staff Spanish. Many years ago, my father said, together we have the opportunity. Council and Mayor, help me, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not done. I'm Spanish now. Buenas noches a todos. Me llamo señorita Rochelle Marie Evans. Me presento ante ustedes una vez más para hablarles sobre la necesidad de ser bilingües en la ciudad de Waukegan. Waukegan es más del 50% hispano. Escucho repetidamente, necesito aprender español. Tengo mi propio negocio y te enseñaré a leer, escribir y hablar en español para mejores oportunidades de empleo. Asisto a la Universidad de Illinois Springfield para obtener mi certificación para enseñar inglés como segundo idioma. Completaré el programa para fines de 2020. Mi deseo es eso, los hispanos también aprendan inglés para que no tengan que usar intérpretes para traducir y también les puede ayudar a tener mejores empleos. De cualquier manera, estoy decidido a ayudar a mi comunidad. Hay un viejo dicho, puedes llevar al caballo al agua, pero no puedes obligarlo a beber. Te reto hoy a que me permitas ayudarte a poner en tu solicitud que eres bilingüe, capaz de leer, escribir y hablar tanto en inglés como en español. Para terminar, me gustaría un contrato con la ciudad de Waukegan para enseñar a los funcionarios de la ciudad y o personal español. Hace muchos años mi padre dijo que juntos tenemos la oportunidad, consejo y alcalde. Ayúdame, por favor, gracias.
Gracias.
Within 3 minutes. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, darling.
Good evening. Calvin Mathis. The clock doesn't work there. I'm back to where I started from.
I got it.
I turned my clock off because
I
I
got
saw
it.
that one. Well, if you could just give me a 15-second and I'll close out. As you guys know, this is the third time I've been here, and I'm going to wrap it up tonight, even if I'm done or not. But I just kind of wish I had paid more attention in high school in my civics class. There's this phrase that a civics teacher had us learn, and it jumps out on me, is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that, you know, and I was like, man, that just been ringing through my ear since I started this discussion. And I thank you guys for your feedback on it. And I think about this Stretch situation, and I can't help but think about his mother, and I will never forget it. Don't want to forget it. His mother came up here on a walker, and she said, all she ever heard from her son when he was younger, and I'm paraphrasing, was that he wanted to grow up and start his own business, his own bar. And she was so happy and proud of him when he did that. And I just, that stuck with me because I thought of my mother, you know, and how I'm a parent too, and how proud our children make us. And then she talked about how disappointed she was for this situation that Stretch is going through, her son is going through. That being said, I think we can, as a city, work through this thing. And I talked about integrity the last time I was up here because I don't question any of you guys' integrity. Let me say that up front. I don't even know you that well, but I know you when I come in here. And actually, I've had experiences Mayor Cunningham was the person that's the reason why I'm here. Keith always been a community guy. Keith don't remember, 15 years ago, he would come to the church and put big collections in the collection plate because he was supporting the church. Now, he would let you know that some type of way, but I'm fine with that because you were doing good community work. And Mo just been a good alderman. So I don't have no reason to question your integrity. But this thing with Stretch is so important because there's so many elements here, so many. And if it's just a case of somebody making a mistake, that's fine. Or if it's a case of Stretch maybe being a little paranoid, that's fine too. But the thing about it, we need to find out what the situation is. We just can't leave that hanging out there because, like I said, this has a lot of elements to it. And I just want to emphasize that phrase again, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's the American way. That's what America is about. And so that being said, I just want you to keep that in consideration.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, I got the backup. I got a backup.
Thank you, Calvin.
That concludes audience time, sir.
Again, thanks everybody for coming out and speaking.
I'm up for you too.
Yes. It was somebody's clock?
We're good.
Okay. All right, Motion by Alderman Florian, second by Alderman Seeger, for consent agenda, items A through K. Are there any questions to the motion? Alderman Rivera.
Yeah, can we pull out item E for just small discussion, please?
Sure.
Was that B or D?
E, item E.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you.
Any que- All right. There's a motion on the floor in a second for consent agenda A through D, E, and F through K. Any other questions? I'll read them. Motion to approve regular meeting minutes from Monday, March 2nd, 2020. The resolution authorized a contract with GHD Services, Inc. for Phase 3 air testing of ethylene oxide emissions. Motion to approve in the form, 4C, motion to approve in the form provided by the property owner's agent and ordinance prohibiting the use of groundwater as a portable water supply by the installation or use of portable water supply wells or by any other method within specified limits on the properties located at 2201 North Lewis Avenue, 1802 Sunset Avenue, and 2200 North Lewis Avenue, Waukegan, Illinois, adjacent to rights-of-way. Item 4D, motion to approve the form provided by the property's owner's agent, a highway authority agreement as presented. Items 4F, motion to approve vendor payments dated March 16, 2020, a total amount of $3,040,994.36.
Mr. Mayor, can we amend that motion to show a revised total of $3,010,128.38? There was a $30,000 difference that was removed.
So moved. Item 4G, motion to approve regular payroll dated March 13, 2020, the total amount of $1,564,984. Item 4H, motion to approve elected officials and civil service stipend dated March 13, 2020, to an amount of $6,866.66. Item 4I, motion to approve comp time cash out dated March 13, 2020, a total amount of $332.99. Item 4J, motion to approve payroll for name listed on the agenda, 8 hours dated February 28, 2020, to the total amount of $315.28. Items 4K, motion to approve all raffle sales applications. With there being no other questions to the motion, roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Yes.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Mozio, to approve an ordinance certifying zoning calendar 2596, text amendment to section 3.15 3.13, fees of the Waukegan zoning ordinance regarding application fees for medical and recreational cannabis establishment. Alderman Rivera.
I appreciate the additional information that was given to us, and I believe, Noel, you handed that. Thank you very much. I just feel that this is an opportunity for us to set a proper amount based on some of the information that was given. Also, we may not have an opportunity to do this again, or if we do it again, it just makes us look like we keep changing our minds. So $2,500 seems like a small amount to charge. That would be my comment. I would propose something like at least $5,000. There are some indications here that some municipalities are charging $3,200. There's $3,500 here, and there's one that charges a one-time fee of $10,000. But again, that's just my suggestion, and just wanting to make sure that that we charge appropriate fees. Thank you.
Alderman Florian.
I've already been contacted by 2 companies that want to come to Waukegan, and if I'm not mistaken, you can only do these businesses in communities that have agreed to sell marijuana. Is that correct? So, and then the other issue is you can only have them in certain places. So the number of places these can go is a very limited thing. We're going to be wanted. You know, people want this and are willing to pay a lot of money for it. They were the one person that talked to me, they were going to buy a building in my ward for over $1 million to do a craft grow. So I think a $5,000 permit fee is minuscule compared to what it's going to cost them in the long run. And I agree with Alderman Rivera. I think we should consider maybe making this a little higher. Thank you.
Is this,
Alderman Moiseo.
Alderman, you want a permit fee or application fee?
This is an application.
Application fee.
No, okay.
Noel, once you come and give your...
The permit fee is based on square footage, right?
The business license fee is based on square footage, correct. This would be the application fee for the conditional use permit. There's also an application fee for the business license, which is $25. The business license is 150 plus, I'm sorry, 100 plus whatever
Square
is based
footage.
on square footage, correct.
So there's no additional permit fee then?
There would be building permits, assuming that most places would need to be retrofitted for that use. But this is an application fee for a conditional use permit application.
Your Honor?
We have, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Noel.
We have recently accepted 2 applications for the next Planning and Zoning Commission meeting next month, and those both came in at $500 under the current fee.
Yeah, I think there's a confusion as to the planning and zoning has an application fee. That's just to submit for planning and zoning. Then once it gets to, let's say, it's approved, then there is our normal license fee, our normal building permit fee. So there's 2 different fees we're talking about. So if you guys are saying in order to apply for, basically they're trying to apply for a conditional use permit, got to go through zoning, you want that to be $5,000. I would caution, because then we're inconsistent with what we charge others to do that.
Our current ordinance is $5,000 for medical cannabis and $500 for recreational. Because when medical was adopted a number of years ago, we adopted that application fee at that time. When we adopted the ordinances for recreational cannabis uses, we didn't change the application fee, so it falls under the standard conditional use permit application fee for conditional uses in the business districts, which is $500.
So we need a separate one for craft grow then, because that's what this is, right?
This covers all of the recreational. Actually, this ordinance change adjusts the medical down to $2,500 and all the recreational ones up to $2,500 instead of $5,000 and $500.
So those 2 people who have applied so far and paid $500, we're now saying they should have paid $2,500.
If this had been adopted at the last council meeting, they would have paid $2,500.
So it's, Your Honor,
We have Alderman Moiseo, then Alderman Kirkwood.
so if they've already done it and these two pass the muster, they're going to get the two that are allowed in Waukegan anyway, correct?
Neither of these is a dispensary. One is a craft grower and one is a transporter.
My question with Corporation Counsel, which would we have more legal latitude on, an application fee or a business licensing fee?
Application fee by far.
Okay, so we could generate more money with an application fee.
Yeah, we are, you remember that the state reserved all licensing powers to itself. So our ability, all we can do is charge an ordinary business license, the same as we charge for any other business in the city.
My point at the last council meeting was, would an applicant have a legal case to say, wait a minute, you're charging me this much money, it's not costing you that much to go through my application, or would they have no legal basis for that?
The application fee is
Arbitrary for a reason?
It is arbitrary at some level, but you know, you can never predict how much it's going to cost you in any particular setting. These tend to be more controversial topics than others. There's more room for public debate. There's more room for people to come in and talk about it. The meetings can get extended. You can end up with additional requirements on staff, making sure that the distance requirements that are set forth in the statute are met. There's a lot of other ways in which you can quantify this.
Because to me, if we can get a little bit more money, I agree with Alderman Rivera on this, we can get a little more money out of the application fee. The licensing fee, of course, the state in its infinite wisdom is always putting the city in, at the caboose of all of their new revenue streams. So maybe we need to, we could do that right now. We could change it to 5,000 or 4,000, whatever
Medical
the
was.
majority of it is, and go from there. If it's, it's sort of a double-edged sword. We already have two applicants, right?
We do.
And we can only have two in the city, or is that going to be
No,
more?
that's not correct.
That's not correct, okay. I misunderstood it, okay.
No, we estimated that for dispensaries, we would likely only get two, one downtown and one at Fountain Square because of the distance requirements between
Correct.
them. But we haven't had any dispensary applications yet because they have to get their license first.
Right.
Whereas the other uses had to have a location identified and have submitted an application for zoning before they could submit their state license.
So we wouldn't be in any legal trouble where we've already had these people pay $500 for an application fee, and anybody going forward would pay $5,000. That's just the luck of the draw, as we say, right, Counselor?
Right. How I would put it, yes.
Okay. Or the luck of timing, I guess.
I would add that so far we are spending not an insignificant amount more time with these applications than we are with a standard conditional use application. So it is costing more in staff time for these.
Oh, there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Kirkwood, go ahead, and I'll
Okay, Noel, you and I had this conversation regarding these two applicants, because my concern was that these two companies would get it at a lower price if others came in, and my question to you was that if we could later on let them know that that fee could go up so that it would be consistent with whatever fee that the council decided would come as a result of it being brought to the council.
So you were asking about making the start date for that fee retroactive.
That is correct.
And I suggested that I would prefer council opine on that rather than me.
Yeah,
And so
that's a
Corporation
problem.
Council,
I think that's a problem.
okay.
You're not going to win that one.
They've applied for it and they've received their, whatever.
And that's a
they've got.
one-time application fee, right? As where
Yes.
It
conditional
is.
use business licenses yearly.
It is, and you got to remember, which something Noel touched on earlier, those two licenses that we're talking about, that have, applications that have been completed, are for a transport company,
Right.
that's
And
no
craft
public sales,
And craft grow.
and a craft grower, which does have the potential for at least public sales, but it's in a unique industrial zone, which is different than the retail sites that are probably more commercially desirable, if you will. So there's a significant difference between them. That's one of the reasons the craft growers and transporters are under the Department of Agriculture licensing process rather than the Department of Professional and Financial Responsibility, which is where the dispensaries fall.
Well, Alderman Revere, if you want to amend this motion to more money, I'll second it.
Okay. Hold on a second. We have Alderman Turner.
Thank you. So once again, we're debating increasing costs for licensing, applications, fees, et cetera, whatever category for businesses. And as we've discussed before, and Alderman Moiseo has said, this has got to be the most business unfriendly city around, right? So we are not business friendly, and there's absolutely no rational reason why we should raise fees to $5,000 for an application for one category of business, right? And in that category, you're only going to have, at this point, 2 applicants. But maybe over the next 20 years, we get 3 more, and we end up with 5. So you're going to increase that application fee to $5,000. Well, why wouldn't we do that, too, for any other business that applies for an application, right? They put in an application, it's $5,000, right? So every time somebody comes in with a new thing, we're going to raise and we're going to fluctuate. There's no continuity. And I got to tell you, I talk to a lot of business owners, a lot, not just in Waukegan, but across the county. And but I'll tell you a story quickly about one business that wanted to move to Waukegan years ago. It was called the Jammin' Van. He was running sailors from the Navy base out to Gurney Mills Mall, and he wanted to expand and grow his business. He wanted to move it into Waukegan. And he came to Waukegan, and he was walked through the process of application fees and approvals and so forth and so on. It's like 7 steps. And he said he stopped in the Gurney City Hall, and he walked out of there with a business license. He didn't even have a location, and it took him about 40 minutes. So if we're going to be the city of progress, and we're going to encourage business growth and expansion, we can't then put economic restrictions and burdens on those businesses. What we should be doing is Waukegan is open for business. And here's how you do it. We ought to be streamlining our processes and reducing our costs and providing incentives to locate businesses here, not making it a burden to do so. So if you want to make the motion to do it, I'm not in favor of it. I'm pro-business all the way. One of these applicants is wants to go in at 99 West Greenwood. That's in my ward, and I'm always supportive of businesses going into my ward. And as the alderman on that particular one, I'd ask my colleagues to vote with me and not increase the license fee or application fee. Thank you.
Mayor, can I say one thing?
Alderman Taylor.
I think we always have to balance between business and residential of what we're doing. We charge an enormous amount compared with other communities for building permits when you want to do additions to your homes or anything like that. If you compare to the rest of Lake County, we are one of the highest in building permit fees. And the problem it has caused is that people bypass the process and just go do the construction themselves and never come in here and get a permit. And then we find out about their problems later through code enforcement. So one of the issues I have here is that as a community, as a city, we need to raise X amount of dollars. This is a business that requires more of our staff's time than some of the other issues. I have to balance, does a business pay that, or does a resident end up paying more in other fees? So for me, I feel like this is a business right now that is requiring more of our time. It's more controversial in the community, that I think that those fees can be justified as opposed to raising like building permit fees when we need money to run the city. You know what I mean? It's just where eventually the money has to come from somewhere, and where is it going to be? And I think right now, some of this has been passed on to the residents so much that we have to also have our businesses contribute, keeping in mind what hardships they're going through right now. So it's a balancing act, but.
I'm sorry, Alderman Rivera?
Yeah, I would like to go ahead and propose then we change the amount from $2,500 to $5,000 and move forward.
Before we do that, you get a second, let me say this. One, when it comes to anything that we do, I think sometimes people, and maybe our residents or outside who do business with us, understand there is a cost to do business in any community. What we have been trying to do is certainly be fair with that cost, but at the same time, take a look at what it costs the city to do these services. While we're not in the business of gaining profit, we have been taking a look at what it truly costs us to provide these services. An application comes in, the number of people who have to take a look at it. We used to have building fees, they were just $50. It cost us $150 to $200 just to process that application. So we're not looking at trying to be business unfriendly, but we are trying to make sure that we do what's called a net neutral. So if it's $200 to process that application, it's only fair to our customers and to our taxpayers to make sure that we balance out that $200. So I caution us when we say that we're not business friendly, that we're too high. We have a city of 360 square miles, multiple businesses that has to come in and do. Everyone still has to go through zoning, building department, police department. So there's a cost. And what we're trying to do is trying to make sure that that cost does not cost us in the long run. And that is something all department heads are taking a look at. So one of the first things we got in here when we came is, what does it cost for us to process an application? We were charging $25, $50, $100, when it was really costing the city $200 to $250. We're gonna make those adjustments as we go on. So we're not hard to do business with. I just think we're realizing what it takes to do business in this community, and now we're messaging that information back out to the public so they'll begin to understand that this is not free. While it may sound like it's free, it is not. So when staff comes up to you and gives you a recommendation, the recommendation is based on their time, our time, planning and zoning time, etc.
Right.
So that's why when we put those dollar amounts in there, they're fair. I would say to you, if that's something you want to do, because this is pretty unusual, the dispensaries, cultivation, all of those. This is highly unusual, and it's probably not going to be all the time. I'm not here to say not do it or do it. I'm just letting you know when we speak of, we are friendly. Our premiums, I should say premiums, I'll go Felix saying premiums. Our cost of all of our services is based on what it cost us. Would I love for us to make a profit? Yes, but in government, net neutral is almost a profit. And we'll close this out with to go with Alderman Rivera, another comment, but Noel, I think she had something else to add.
If I can add to that, we do as staff make a concerted effort to be business friendly. We get comments in the Planning and Zoning Department frequently about how quick our process for conditional use permits, variances, et cetera, is as compared to other communities. Ours is, depending on how the dates actually fall for the meetings, less than 12 weeks. Many are 6 months or a year or longer in many communities. So we're significantly faster than that. And in the months where we have the opportunity to have a special committee meeting on the third Monday, instead of holding something off till the first Monday of the following month, we make an effort to do that. We do have statutorily required publication requirements that we publish a legal notice at least 15 days before the Planning and Zoning Commission public hearing. We also have to send certified letters to all the adjacent property owners within 250 feet of a parcel that's under consideration for a variance or a conditional use permit, also 15 days in advance. So those are imposed outside of our control. And, you know, because it's the city council, it's the Planning and Zoning Commission that makes these approvals, they're regular schedules. But we make a concerted effort to be business friendly. We work hand in hand with the building department and the fire department and host joint meetings with businesses to try to get all questions and issues addressed at one meeting together so that they don't have to bounce around to different departments. We really do make an effort to be business friendly, and I would suggest that most people think that we're very business friendly.
Your Honor, I got one more comment real quick.
Okay, we're gonna go Alderman Rivera, then Alderman Moiseo.
I'm sorry.
Alderman Rivera.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm good. I just want to make the motion.
Okay, Alderman Moiseo, then we get a motion.
I got to make a correction and an apology.
Okay.
That's not in my ward. It's in Alderman Rivera's ward, so go ahead, thanks.
I mean, I'll support the increase, but I think it's going to be, it's a business that makes a lot of money, and they probably can afford it. Just, I hope I'm wrong, but she'll be the highest one around. Zion is $690. Winthrop Harbor's to be determined. We're going to be $5,000. Wadsworth is $1,600. North Chicago's to be determined, and Park City's to be determined. I'm a business owner, $5,000 or $690. And in this business, I don't think location makes a whole big difference when it comes to
Except it does, because it can only go so many places. How many places in Winthrop Harbor can you
I just said I hope I'm wrong, and I know you're right.
No, I'm
I
not.
hope I'm wrong.
But
I mean, business is business. So, that's fine, but I'll support it.
All right. Everybody, wow, and again, I'm going to say this. This is an unprecedented, not request, but business. I mean, if I can go and talk about it how it really is, whoever thought we'd be selling marijuana in the open market? Let's be honest here. We didn't. But we're here now, and we're trying to navigate through all of these as best as we can. Me, I'm a man about residuals. I want it to come every year, all the time. A one-time fee is, it sounds good, but residuals are what makes us run all the time. Let's be clear to that. So, if there is the will of of our legislative body as it pertains to this specific business, and I want to be clear about that, this specific business, then so be it. It's a one-time hit. And for those who are in the business, hey, it's a reward.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we have a motion by Alderman Rivera, a second by Alderman Moiseo to amend.
Actually, it was Alderman Florian made it.
Alderman Florian to amend the motion of $2,500 to $5,000 as an application fee for planning and zoning. I want to be very specific on that. Application fee for planning and zoning for this specific business. Is that correct, Noel?
Yes, for conditional use permits.
Yes. All right. Are we all clear?
Yes.
An aye vote is to
Increase
from $2,500 to $5,000 on the application fee.
Dear Lord.
Okay? Any other questions? Roll call.
Alderman Kirkwood.
No.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Equal protection under the law. No.
That was a no, sir?
No.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Nay.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Ayes have it. There's an amendment on the floor for the application fee for a conditional use permit as it relates to recreational, I believe,
Medical cannabis.
medical and recreational cannabis establishment. The original motion will read, motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Florian, to approve ordinance certifying the zoning count of 2596, text amendment to section 3.13, fees of the Waukegan zoning ordinance regarding application fees of $5,000 for medical and recreational cannabis establishment. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
No.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager. Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion is passed and carried. Reports and communication, Treasurer's report is on file at the clerk's office. Items 6, 7, and 8, there being none. Items 9. A motion by Alderman Bolton, second. Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Turner. Ordinance creating a video gaming license for TKO Services LLC doing business as Ooey Sweet Tea Cafe, number 29. Any questions to the motion?
Yeah, just not a question, a comment. I just want for clarity for the public to understand that in creating this gaming license downtown on Genesee Street, where Ooey Sweet Tea Cafe 29 is located, though it falls within the distance limitation or distance restrictions under our city ordinance, there was an exception cut out for the enterprise district, and Genesee Street is one enterprise district. We also have another at Fountain Square, so that is why this is being allowed within that, what would normally be a distance limitation. So.
Roll call, please. Thank you, Alderman.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Yes.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Went to the bathroom.
Wait 1 minute.
Keep going, we'll come back.
Oh. Alderman Florian.
No.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye. Votes are relevant.
3 so far.
So gets the vote.
The motion passes. I mean, we'll,
Doesn't matter.
you record his. We can record it when he comes. Is that okay, Bob?
Just wait for him.
Yeah, we'll just wait a moment.
Don't allow him to vote. In here.
Yeah, wait.
That'll tell us whether or not you need to vote, Mayor.
Alderman Rivera, I need your vote. Thank you.
Motion is passed and carried. Thank you. Motion by Alderman Florian, second by
No.
Me, I'll take it.
okay, Alderman Turner, to approve an ordinance creating Class A1 Tavern with Outside Services liquor license for Enrichment Enterprise, 4555 York House Road. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Abstain.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Items 10, there being none. Closing items, Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Just a reminder to the public in regards to the coronavirus. I think it's important that we adhere to the guidelines that have been set not only by the governor of Illinois, but also by our president. We need to be careful in regards to the distance. Also, for ward meetings that have been laid out there, we have to be careful, Alderman, regarding that. I'm going to be postponing my upcoming ward meeting until we get more direction in terms of that, because normally we have more than 25 people in a particular area. Also, in terms with the weather changing, we need to make sure that in the 4th Ward, we want to make sure that we contact advance when you have large items, couches, things of that nature. Please do not just put them on the parkway. You must contact advance before your pickup day, otherwise they'll stay out on the parkway. Our code enforcement officers will be sending out letters to those particular areas that I see mattresses, refrigerators, and other things that are laying out on the parkway. Once again, let's be safe throughout this period of time. Also, for the gentleman that talked about stretches, certainly we have been in meetings, the mayor and myself with Alderman Turner. So we are talking with them and waiting for them to get back to us. So we've been doing that last couple of weeks, so it's not gone in vain. So we've had some meetings with them. We're waiting for them to get back to us. Thank you.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Turner.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So first, I want to really thank and acknowledge the mayor and his staff and the clerk. I mean, you guys are doing a phenomenal job keeping me and all of us informed what's going on with the emergency orders and steps that are being taken. And I'm really comfortable with the information that's coming out to me and allowing me to disseminate that out into my ward. So I want to thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge, of course, our first responders and the situation that they find themselves in and precautions that they're taking. The response from the city mayor's office downward has been phenomenal from what's being communicated to me, and I really appreciate that. You know, folks, often I take an alternate position on any given topic of discussion, and I'm not doing that to be contrary. I think differently about things. I think things from a different perspective, and I sometimes think about things in depth. So I'm not being contrary. I'm just altering my differing perspective and opinion. I think the mayor is doing a great job overall. I'm supportive of his efforts in this regard in this emergency situation. So sometimes I'm asking questions that I want to solicit information so that we have transparency, so that information is being communicated out to the public and out to the audience that's present. That's why I ask some of these questions, but don't take that to mean that I'm just taking I'm contrary by nature. I know my wife sometimes thinks I am. Okay, so in the 6th Ward, we're doing a lot of good things over there. Still going forward with cleanups. Every week, I'm working very closely with our code compliance officer, Mr. Josh Nickerson. Continue to write notices of violations. And we're giving a little leeway. People are kind of getting ahead of the curve with their cleaning up their properties and yard waste and so forth. Mr. Nickerson is out this week in personal business, but the building department running at a skeleton crew, but being responsive. Had Tony Kuval meet with me at a constituent's residence about sewer backing up. We're getting a lot of things done for our residents in the 6th Ward, and I just want to thank all of the city staff for how responsive you're being to my requests and our neighbors' requests. Thank you.
Alderman Rivera.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to echo what Alderman Turner indicated regarding the staff and the reactions to the pandemic emergency that we currently have. It's not something that happens all the time, so I don't think there are true parameters set up, but at this point, city staff exceeds my expectation when it comes to communication and keeping everyone abreast of what's going on. Also, I'd like to make a comment just to add to Alderman Kirkwood's comment regarding advance. They are now only picking up one bulk item versus two bulk items, which I believe that expired with the contract last year. Some people have put out two items. I've gotten calls where they will only pick up one. But just so everyone's clear, it is only one bulk item being picked up at this time. And just to echo everyone's comments regarding the coronavirus, at this time, really what we're trying to do is we're trying to minimize risk. And it's just everyone's job at this point, minimize the risk of either catching it or spreading it. And that's all it is, plain and simple. Thank you very much.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to echo what my colleagues have said here about the handling of this pandemic here in the city. I just got a message from someone, the courthouse is now going to be closed for 28 days. So things are changing rapidly. In spite of all of that that's going on, though, I want to remind everyone that tomorrow is Election Day. Please do not forget to vote. We have a lot of important local elections, as well as obviously choosing our candidates for president. So please make sure you take the time to go out and vote and practice your social distancing while you wait in line. I also want to echo what the mayor said earlier about the census. The forms are coming in the mail to encourage you to fill it out online. This is very important. We need to know exactly how many people we have and where they are. The questions are simple: names, ages, sex, and race of all the people living in your home as of April 1st. That's it. The information provided helps the federal government determine things like whether states will lose or gain seats in the U.S. House. An accurate count also determines how more than $675 billion, with a B, dollars in federal funding will be distributed to each state and its communities. We could use our fair share of that. So please answer the census, including people that are undocumented. Even they need to be counted. They're using our city services. They're using our resources. We need to count everybody. So by law, they are not allowed to use census data for anything other than the count. So please do not be afraid to fill out your form and online or send it in the mail. Thank you.
Alderman Taylor.
I just want to remind people that, you know, I think I saw a quote that was one of the best things I've seen is, our grandfathers went off to war. We're asking to stay home and sit on our couch. I think we can handle it. We've lived through these things before. We've been through the AIDS crisis. We've been through 9/11. It changes society. If something good comes out of this is that we will check on our neighbors, we will do a little bit more infection control, we will take this time to rebond with our families and our community. But things are going to get a little tight for a while. Things are going to be closed. Again, in addition to the courthouse, all driver's license facilities will be closed starting tomorrow through March 31st. Driver's license and plate expiration dates will be extended 1 month, and the state is asking the federal government to see if we can extend the October 1st deadline for the real IDs. So things are playing out on a daily basis. Please, it causes a lot of anxiety, and it causes anxiety particularly in children. Try and keep structure in the home for children. Try and roll with this the best you can, but you can see here, we work as a community. We've always been a community, and we always will be. So this too will pass, but it may not pass next week, 2 weeks from now. It may be a couple of months, and we're going to get through it. And as you can see with the mayor, he's communicating with people. We're doing the best we can, but things are changing on a daily basis.
Right.
So please stay with us and, you know, find the good in this. Take some time. Thanks.
Alderman Bolton.
Yes, I want to echo what the mayor said. Let us thank our fire, police, and public works, and all those that are on the front line. for making things happen. I just want to openly say thank you. I also want to thank those that pulled together to make successful within the First Ward the street name change for Dr. Mary Lacey. And I just want to give a shout out for them. And I don't need to be redundant. As you all know, follow the local, county, and state regulations and when concerning the virus. And allow me to, I also work for the health department. And for those that don't know the signs and symptoms, some of the signs and symptoms for the virus is a fever, a cough, and difficulty breathing. So make sure, as it already has been said, make sure you take care of yourself. And once again, fill out the census. I have done so. Thank you.
Alderman Seeger.
No comment.
Alderman Mozio.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Turner to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Real quick, to our troopers, for those who came to council meeting, thank you for stepping out. Appreciate you.